All right. Oh shit. This is a great way to open. You open up with a brew. Let me get a hell yeah.
I'm trying to get one real quick. It was like recording in progress. Like, oh yeah. Anyway,
That's cool, man. They came here to listen to the gods of podcasts right quick. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, I like that title. The gods of podcasts. That is a little pretentious though. And that leaves a lot to, you know what I'm saying, a lot of pressure. The gods of podcasts. Like, oh, these guys are the gods of podcasts. Wow. Like we are the gods. And that would make me Rayquaza and CJ is Groudon. Because he's a fire gym leader, apparently. Like we talk all the time about all the Pokemon we use, and I lean heavily on the fighting types, you know, the Hitmonlees and the Metacharms and, you know, the Infernape, you know, I lean heavily on the fire types, but the fire types that can be the psychic Pokemon if you can dig, you know what I'm
saying? You know, like I said, I started my very first Pokemon was Charmander, man. And from then, you know, that bond to them fire type Pokemon. And Arcanine is my OG all-time favorite Pokemon. So like it was coincidental, but at the same time, you know, I get down at Pokemon. Most people don't know that. They see the hooping, they see the guitar playing, and they be like, you couldn't possibly like, no, I will smoke you in some Pokemon too. Like it's not a game.
Pokemon might be the most important video game of my lifetime. Because, like you said, we have been playing Pokemon since its inception. Since like I remember getting red version and using the fucking cheat codes to ride up and down the ridge of the first town and running into the glitch jump that spits out glitch. Yeah, and it spits out rare candies and shit. That's how long niggas been playing Pokemon. Like Pokemon is a staple in our life. I can't speak for the older generations. They probably had Galaga or some shit. But
bullshit. Like they can say, I work at this group home of these kids who are born in like 2003 and 2006 and shit. And it's just like these kids are just talking about shit. And it's like, do you kids know what a worm light is on a Game Boy? Do you guys remember the struggle of like it just being dark and you just be like, well, fuck it, I just can't play. I just can't play my Game Boy because it's dark and there were no LED screens back in the day. And it was just like, well, anybody, you know, then you had to hook an actual flashlight to hang over the screen just to play your Game Boy until you ran out of batteries.
Oh, you took it back with the worm light. Let me tell you about the worm light I had, bro. Because me and my man, Anthony, right? I would trade him games. We would trade games for accessories. Like I trade you my Pokemon, you'll give me your worm light, or you get the don't that you put on top of the Game Boy Color that gives it the light in a magnifying glass. He had one of those jumps too. You remember that jump?
Oh yeah. I was gonna say that too. Like the little the little screen jump that went over your screen. It's like magnified your screen.
He had a bunch of shit, and I do remember. Damn, that was before the Game Boy lit up itself. What was that? The Advance, something that they?
Yeah, the Advance was the first one. Yeah,
the wide jump. I had that jump. I had the wide jump. Yeah, so we've had a very good history with video games, CJ.
Oh yeah, that's what I be telling these kids, man. Like I made them download Marvel vs. Capcom just so I could beat them in something. Because I ain't up on the new games and they smoking me and all the new Call of Duty and all that. Like I don't have time to play that, but like. Duty. I put in a lot of hours playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3, and I had them download 3. Them kids didn't know. They weren't ready for what happened to them. They seen me mediocre at most games. You know, they whipped me up in Injustice and other stuff. I'm not great at Mortal Kombat, serviceable at stuff. But, like, put me in Marvel. I had Dormammu slinging them across the screen, doing hyper combos with, like, little obscure Marvel characters. It's like, who is MODOK? Why is this head in a chair beating dog shit out of me?
Damn, you downloaded the Marvel vs. Capcom. That's crazy. I always love those games. What fighting game would I be good at? I'm usually good at Mortal Kombat type. Well, with that engine, you know what I'm saying? The NetherRealm.
Yeah, Injustice, Mortal Kombat, all that stuff.
Like I usually like use Black Canary on Injustice. Yeah.
I'm very mid on Injustice. I love the game though, just because I love the DC characters and the storyline and all that. But it's just like maybe it's because I never really owned it and I just kind of played it with friends and stuff. I was like, man, I'll be getting my ass beaten in Injustice, but I've never been good at Mortal Kombat. And like you said, because they operate on like the same engine, it's
Mm-hmm.
basically Mortal Kombat with DC skin on it. So
Yeah.
it's just like I'm still not good. Like I'm as good at this as I am at Mortal Kombat, which is not very. But
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter, I can play some Street Fighter.
Street
So
Fighter. I haven't gotten into Street Fighter. I'm not that good at Street Fighter.
I love the Capcom and the crossover games, like the Capcom versus SNK, Capcom versus Tatsunoko, and then of course Marvel versus Capcom, which is the game I probably put more hours than anything in my entire life. Like
Yeah.
just hundreds and hundreds of hours on that on the Dreamcast.
Who would you run with on that job?
On 2
Mm-hmm.
or 3?
2 or 3.
Oh, because 2 had more characters. 2 had that goated roster, so it was like 2 had a lot more characters, but that's because it was like 64 characters to choose from.
Nice.
So I used Iron Man a lot of the same characters I used in the next one. But Iron Man was like my main. Cable, I liked a lot of the laser long distance people. So Cable's a dog. I really like Blackheart is really good in that jump. So many characters that I like like Cyclops. I love my X-Men. Like Cyclops is amazing, man. I wish they would have never took him out the game. Magneto. Yeah, Magneto. Doom.
Okay.
Like so many good characters. Yeah. So, and then the Capcom side, just having obscure, you can play as Mega Man. You play as Roll for some reason. You can play as War Machine, even though he's basically a reskinned Iron Man.
Yeah,
there were
pretty
2
much.
Wolverines in the game for some reason. Like it's a bonkers roster in the best way possible. Like Shu McGorath, like just wild, obscure characters you just get to play as.
That don't had Darkstalkers too, right? All them.
Yes. It's got Felicia, it's got Morgan, it's got Darkstalkers characters are in it. The mummy dude, and I forgot like his name, but it's got Darkstalkers characters. Anyone from Capcom, it's great. The SNK characters, I love it. Love. I've just put in so many hours because that was the first game. One, I was already good at Street Fighter as a kid. That was like one of the first games I had on Sega Genesis, and I got to play as my X-Men. My favorite Marvel characters. The only time other than the X-Men Arcade, another goated game, but
X-Men
for
Arcade,
another topic. But it's like that's a game where it's like I get to fight Ryu versus Wolverine and like Magneto. I get to play as the Juggernaut. You telling me I get to play as a Sentinel, and I get to like kick Captain America in the face? That's what I get to do in this game. Oh, okay. Like I'm in it.
Yeah. I had a X-Men game. I never beat it because it was so difficult. It was like you had to kill a jump, like you had to beat a time and kill a Sentinel or something like that.
It was one of Sega Genesis. So it was like nearly impossible to beat.
Yeah,
like, I think if you lose, you have to like start over. Yeah, I remember that, John. It's
I think that was
difficult.
the one. Speaking of Marvel, we just had a new trailer. We're taking Marvel to it with a new extreme. Well, first, let's talk about Moon Knight. Let's talk about Moon Knight first because that's coming out first. Is that 2 weeks from now, March 30th?
Yeah, it's gonna drop soon.
2 weeks from now. I guess they put out the final trailer of what's going on with that. I've listened to reviews already on that. They've reviewed the first 4 episodes, and it's really good. I've heard good things so far. Would you look forward to that one, my guy?
Definitely looking forward to it, but like I saw some of those early reviews, and the only thing that kind of disappointed me from what I heard of those is they say it's not very violent.
Whoa.
When I'm thinking about Moon Knight, I'm thinking like it should be.
I didn't hear that part.
Pushing the boundaries. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I heard. I hope I heard wrong.
Wow.
But like, they say it's just not as violent as you thought. But they say they really lean into the psychological stuff really good. So I'm not saying it's going to be a bad show, but like I will be disappointed if by the end of it, he's not a violent psychopath, because that's kind of what Moon Knight is. But we'll see. Like I said, I'm very excited and open to it. Like Marvel, again, with these TV shows, I don't think they've slam dunked anything, but they haven't missed. They, saying these aren't Russell Westbrook,
Oh my God, don't do that. Don't go to Russell Westbrook, please. Yeah, I am looking forward to Moon Knight for the simple fact that it's gonna lean more into like Marvel's what do we say, the monster corner of Marvel, right? Like with the Werewolf by Night coming, I guess they get like a special later on, or like a Halloween jump later on this year. And the supernatural elements of, Marvel, like Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night, Blade coming out. Yeah, let's explore that side. And I'm kind of surprised you said it wasn't that violent, because Moon Knight is supposed to be our Batman over here. So I'm like, how do we make that happen with no hands being thrown? I guess we'll see. All right. The next show after that, we got a new trailer. Well, first trailer, Miss Marvel is very polarizing.
Yeah, it is.
How do you feel? How do you feel? Because I have several questions.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the wait and see approach because like I really, really love G. Willow Wilson's original, run on Miss Marvel. I
Mhm,
really like the character of Miss Marvel. I love legacy characters. I love when they do that, when they make
mhm.
a whole new character from scratch that is created, that really, gets popular and settles into the mantle. And I just think Miss Marvel is an excellent character.
Mhm.
The controversy is over her powers.
Yes.
Like, and how her powers in the comics are tied to kind of like her cultural identity and like what people
Yes.
love about what they really love about Miss Marvel is that she's kind of awkward and her powers are awkward. They're not like cool powers for like a young girl, to have like she can embiggen limbs and become giant and have huge hands and
Yeah.
like they're supposed to be like awkward, kind of goofy powers. Like and in the show they look to be more energy based, even though I haven't seen enough of it. It does look like her limbs do embiggen, but it does
Yeah,
have
I've
like an
seen it.
energy tint over it, kind of like a
Yeah.
Green Lantern-ish
Yeah, I've
vibe
seen
to
her
it.
like using big end, use like her powers as like something to step on.
Yeah, that's new. That's like something that's not in the comics. So like in the comics, she is basically like a Reed
Excuse me.
Richards type of character.
Yes.
Like she can stretch, but more of like she can become giant. She can become tiny. She can
Mhm.
embiggen. Yeah, like she can. It's body, you know, type of stuff. And like here, that looks to be energy based. She made an energy
Yeah.
shield in the trailer, and like you said, she
Yeah,
made those
like
little
she's like gets
platforms.
inherits like a bracelet and she gets the powers that way somehow, like the cosmic energy of the
Well,
Marvels or whatever.
this is one theory that I had is like they are going to totally ignore the inhuman aspect of this, which
Oh,
looks
they're
like is what they're
definitely
going to
going to
do. They're
ignore
just
that.
going to pretend that that didn't happen. They're
Yeah.
just going to be like, "Inhumans, what is that? We
Yeah.
didn't do that show.
They're going
What
to
is Agents of
Jumanji
Shield?
it. They're going
Yeah,
to be
let it.
like, oh, she found this in the attic. I never did.
Yeah,
Whose
and it's
bracelet
like you
is it?
said, it's probably going to be something related to Captain Marvel or the Kree or
Mhm,
like the Nega bands or like
mhm.
some quantum bands or it's going to be some cosmic artifact in Marvel that gives her powers. Like I said, most likely something related to the Kree or Captain Marvel, since she's going to be associated with the Marvels and Captain Marvel, and it looks like her powers have that same tint that Monica Rambeau's powers and stuff like that. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I get it, but I don't know how I feel about it. Like I said, I wish
I
they would have kept
I
it
don't
straight
know.
comics. I don't mind them expanding on her powers, or if they just put a shiny tint over it. But like you said, they seem to be really changing her powers as well.
Well, with changes, how changes go in Marvel, like they changed I just had it in my fucking brain. Sorry everybody, I dabbed. But they changed Shang-Chi, you
True. Yeah,
know?
that's what I'm saying. Like, and not all changes are bad changes. That's why I
You
want to,
know?
before I get mad, like the fanboys on the internet, I want to see
Mhm.
this. I'm going to take a wait and see approach. Am I a
Right.
little worried? A little bit, a little bit. I'm a little
Yeah.
worried, but I'm more worried that it's just going to be super mid. I don't
Right.
think it's going to be like a disaster because that's not what Marvel Studios does. Like, there's too many talented people working there to completely bomb a show with that much talent. But at the same
Mhm.
time, like, I'm worried it's going to be a low 7 for, and I don't want to be like slightly disappointed, especially from Miss Marvel, a character who has the potential to be their next like Spider-Man s character. Like,
Yeah. Um I mean, I'm gonna always be curious to see what Marvel does because they have a good track record. It's been long standing with us, Marvel forever. But let me ask you this, CJ. I've been hearing that they've been trying to avoid replicating Mr. Fantastic with her powers. Now, do you think it would have been better for them to keep her powers as they were as to embiggen? Because she doesn't necessarily have Reed Richards' powers. Like they're similar but different.
Yeah, I think they're just too similar, and they don't want that to be
Mhm.
too similar. Like I think, and again, I think they also just want to very much distance themselves from the Inhuman stuff. It seems like they have no
Okay.
desire to, because that's what her origin is in the comic. There's no way to explain her powers without Terrigenesis, so they have to like completely rework it, which gives them the opportunity to expand on her powers and to do other stuff. Because like, if you do it like the comics and just give it like she's got to be an Inhuman,
Mhm.
or a mutant, which looks like they're not ready to do that yet either. So like, I feel like you could explain it like that and just say she was a mutant. But again, it looks like they're gonna go cosmic with a cosmic artifact that gives her powers rather than just like Terrigenesis, which it is in the comics, or like she's a
Mhm.
mutant, which I feel like would have been a cleaner, easier explanation. But again, that would complicate things for the comics, because then I think the comics would have to, every time something like that happens in live action, the comics try to adjust to make it more
Mhm.
like the live action. So since she's not like that in the comics, I would be afraid that they would try to adjust the comic version that people already know and love and try to make it more like the show version, you know?
Right. I mean, from a story perspective, I think that does work better for the story for her to have particular powers, but if it's going to be a retread of something we've seen before, I think that could be catastrophic. But it's original. We get a Captain Marvel type character on television. We have a Captain Marvel, quote unquote, Kamala Khan.
Yeah, and like I said, her heritage is very important to the story. It's not just brushed over for like, oh,
Mhm.
she's Muslim, but it's like a
Yeah.
big part of her, her parents being strict, the religious, how that would complicate her trying to be a
Yeah.
teenage superhero on top of it already being complicated to try to be a teenage superhero.
On a review I watched, it was talking about her like powers coming from a genie or something like that. Have you heard anything about that?
Oh
Like,
shit, I didn't, but that would be weird. I'm not gonna fake.
yeah,
I don't
like
know how I would feel about that. Like,
that's why I'm kind of like, okay, I'm riding with you, Marvel, but you can't just do anything you want. You can't just throw shit at me.
that feels racist. I don't know how is that. I
That's
don't.
where I am. Like, you can't just
It's,
do stuff,
yeah, it's like
know?
I'm not even
Well,
Pakistani, but I feel offended for
isn't it?
just from that
I
suggestion.
think the showrunner's like Indian, so maybe they get a pass. I don't know. I don't know. Don't quote me, anybody. Please don't cancel us. We're working black men in America. Get it? All
Yeah,
right. What else we got? Yeah, I'm excited to see the movie. Speaking of movies, you've seen a Jujutsu Kaisen movie. Do
yes,
tell.
very good. It was one of the better anime movies, I think, for many reasons. I would give
Mhm.
it an 8.5 out of 10. I think.
Okay.
I, I think it's very solid. It's very solid, but I think Jujutsu Kaisen, I don't think it works for everyone. Just
Mhm.
Jujutsu Kaisen in general. As awesome as a show, I love it. I love Jujutsu Kaisen. I think it's doing great work right now. It's just
Mhm.
great work. But at the same
Mhm.
time, Jujutsu Kaisen has a lot of exposition, and its combat system and it's like world building. It's very detailed. So like for a movie, they there is a fair bit. Even though I think the pacing is good, the action is good. I brought a bunch of random people from various levels, from like anime fans who have watched the show to people
Mhm.
who didn't know what the fuck Jujutsu Kaisen. So it was a good like test group of
Yeah.
audience of like someone who doesn't know anything about it versus someone who's a fan of the series and is like giddy for the movie. And I think the brilliant thing about Jujutsu Kaisen Zero is it works for both of those audiences because it's a prequel to Jujutsu Kaisen. So if you're a fan like I am, if you've seen Jujutsu Kaisen,
Mhm.
you're up to date on the seasons. This is going to be a cool prequel to show you characters like a year before the story starts. You'll learn more about some of the side characters and stuff. But if you don't know, it doesn't take anything away from it. You can jump into this movie as a newcomer who doesn't know shit about Jujutsu Kaisen and be
Mhm.
thoroughly entertained by it because it's going to explain everything like it's the first episode. That's why it's Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. It's literally like the zero episode zero. of Jujutsu Kaisen. So I think in that regard, because it's unique in that way, as most anime movies are just dope ass filler. Like that's just what they are. They're inconsequential to the story, but it's just like it's dope as shit though. Like they got that budget and it's a cool fight. Even like the My Hero Academia movies, Dragon Ball Z movies, anything like that. They're filler. Naruto movies, the Bleach
Yeah.
movies, like all of them.
Especially Dragon Ball Z movies.
They're all filler.
Yeah.
Like they're great filler. I'm not slandering them, but like they're not really consequential to the main story.
Hey, speaking of filler, that plane was full of people, CJ. Now, as things go, we have our patented segment called CJ's plane landing sequence, where CJ is our man on the ground, guiding all the aircrafts to their destination. Now, in the plane landing sequence, CJ tells us, was the movie good? Did they tie up all the stories? Would you go back to see another one if there's a sequel? Did they do all the world building correctly? Was the story coherent? Now, CJ, your plane landing sequence.
Very safe, gentle landing. My neck pillow was comfortable. Where I had a lot of leg room. You know what I'm saying? The staff was polite. A little like I said, I don't even know if it was bumpy. It was just, it was just a late flight.
Delta.
Caught a movie a little later than I usually do. It was like a 9:40 start, like a long day of work. So I was like, I was getting tired, but it wasn't really the movie. So I think it was well paced and had like every time I was getting a little drowsy, it's enough action in it. It is an action-packed movie. So like it picks up whenever you're kind of like, oh man, it's getting slow. And because, like I said before, Jujutsu Kaisen, what I love about it, which I think makes it not really accessible to like the short attention span fans, is like the battle system is very detailed. They explain like how sorcery works, how this, like it's not just willy-nilly somebody screams and gets stronger. Like it's very detailed of like how battles are won or what the conditions are. So like there's a lot of that, but also you just get dope ass and like Studio Mappa. Holy shit. Like just the animation, the fights, the fluidity.
The cloth, everybody. Studio Mappa. I think they're winning the top studio house right now. I mean, animation house right now. Sorry.
Yeah, they're doing this in Attack on Titan. Like they're doing the Lord's work right now. Like it was crazy. But yeah, just I really love it. I'm a big fan of Jujutsu Kaisen. It's just like the horror elements of it, how dark it is, and again, like it very much reminds me of Bleach. Like I said before, like very very much reminds me of Bleach before Bleach. We don't have to talk about what happened to Bleach.
Don't you see, man? We always have to talk. We always have to go to Bleach slander. Everybody, listen, everybody. Bleach
only because I loved it and it broke my heart.
Bleach is one of my favorite anime of all time. I mean, it's coveted as being a great action anime and just a good anime. But as we all know, it didn't end the best. But this is not the end for us, everybody.
We're going to take an intermission.
We're going to take an intermission. We'll get back to you right after our sponsors. All right, so we were talking about anime, Jujutsu Kaisen movie. Now, while because I'm watching OP, right? One Piece, and the episode slowed down as far as their production, and so I only got like one episode left to watch that. So I had to find something else to watch, and actually, they're coming out with a new Fooly Cooly. So I was like, okay, bet. I'll start watching Fooly Cooly now. And now I'm on episode 2. And let me tell you, this is one of the most random shows I have ever watched in my life. And I've watched Devilman Crybaby. I've watched Goblin Slayer. I've watched Neon Genesis. I've watched DxD. What is it? Devil DxD, High School DxD. I watched a lot of random shit, but it is a very, very random show. But one thing I will say about it is it's stylized beautifully, and the fucking soundtrack, bro.
The pillows.
The fucking soundtrack, bro.
It's just one band called the Pillows, and it's like their music.
That's one band.
Yeah, and they just crank through this whole genre. Or is it the Pillows? I'm pretty sure it's the Pillows. I'm gonna look it up because they deserve to have respect put on their names.
Dog.
It's great.
And mind you, I just got the system put in my truck, and that's where I watch all my TV and stuff, right? So you know how like you're watching shit in the truck and everything. It's like a sound cabin. It's like having our own personal sound cabin while the show is going on because the music beds is dope. The riffs is dope. The guitar rolls is dope. I'm like, yo, this show is vicious just off of the way it sound, bro.
Yes, it is the Pillows. It is, in fact, the Pillows.
Shouts to the Pillows, man.
Yeah, it's one of the best soundtracks. They're amazing. Like they have iconic. Like I think Fooly Cooley is legendary. I think it's an iconic series. It's one of my favorite. It's in my top 10 of all time. It's goated. It's goated to me. I think it is brilliant. There's a lot of I could say about it of how amazing it is. Like I said, we kind of talked before the pod about how dense it is. How like it's one of the shows that only has 6 episodes that are like 20 minutes long, but every episode somehow feels like it's like an hour long.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Like they shove a lot of shit. They stuff it. Like when TV shows like they hit the ground running. Like AOT episode 1, you're in the shit. We ain't wasting no time with you. We're in the shit. So Fooly Cooley, like it started off with a shawty on the Vespa hitting a nigga in the head with a guitar. I'm like, oh, why is she hitting him in the head with a guitar? And then the horn pops out. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay, this is where we're going. All right. It's dope so far. I really like Fooly Cooley.
Puberty anime. It's like that's what it is. It's the coming of age story. And I think it really just connected with me. And I know it's connected with a lot of people. I've seen anime conventions with people with Vespas and Rickenbacker bases, like, you know. So like I'm not the only one that it resonated with, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Like again, so it's goated to me.
What do you know of the other? Because I saw 2 other variations of FLCL. What are those?
There were 2 sequel series that came out more recently, maybe like a few years back. I don't remember exactly, but they were okay. They don't live up to the greatness of the original, but they weren't bad by any means. Like I said, I remember watching them, but like to me, like literally, they were a little bit forgettable. I couldn't even tell you a lot that happened with the newer ones, other than like I was cool, but I was ultimately like, you know, I didn't need this, but like I'm not mad that we got more Fooly Cooley, which is kind of like where we talked about the new one coming out, how I feel about that, because now that I've seen some okay, but like not like groundbreaking sequels of Fooly Cooley, like I'm all for more Fooly Cooley. Like fuck it, let's see, spin the dice. It can only I'm down for it, but like nothing can ruin the legacy of the original. And it's not like the other ones were bad, but like I don't know. Like I said, they were a little forgettable to me.
Okay. What's coming next with Fooly Cooley? Do you know anything about like what's going to happen? Like, is it like a continuation, a prequel?
I don't know. They're just called. There's 2 of them, just like the last one. They were like 2 little mini series sequels. So one of them's called Grunge, and the other one is called Shoegaze or Shoegazing. Yeah, which is a form of music most people don't know about. It's like a kind of like an underground rock style.
Yeah, I've heard of grunge. I ain't never heard of shoegaze before though.
Yeah, shoegazing. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Shoegazing. It's like an underground style with a lot of pedals. They call it shoegazing because the guitars use so many pedals. It looks like they're all just staring at their shoes because they're using so many effects and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's really cool. As Fooly Cooley is always very, very obviously tied to music. Music is a huge theme, not just in the soundtrack, but in the show itself. The main character and some of the mechanics of the characters actually use guitars and bass guitars as powers and weapons in the show. So music, obviously, Fooly Cooley is a love letter to music as well. Has a lot of references to classic musicians and stuff. So it's like, yeah. So to call it grunge and shoegazing is cool. I think that's very intriguing. I want to lean back into the musical, nature of Fooly Cooley and not just like the cool guitars beating the shit out of people with cool guitars, but like, yeah, Fooly Cooley, because there is a story there too, as ridiculous and off the wall as it is, there is a deep story in there. I think in the original Fully Cooley of like a coming of age story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited to see what's next and see the other variations too, because this is a very good story so far. What isn't a very good story so far is Russell Westbrook.
Segue.
Hey man, listen. It
Hey,
isn't a
London
very good
night.
story. Hey, they won the night. They won the night. Um, I mean, that was just a vehicle to get to NBA. But let's talk about some draft prospects, bro. We don't have to talk about the Lakers. We don't have to talk about the Lakers.
They might have a better pick than they won it. Well, I guess the Wizards have that pick, do they? Or is that this year? I don't know.
That might. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, doesn't matter. But yeah, like I mean, which prospect do you want to talk about? Like, I said, I've done my top 10 on my board. I don't have my phone. Where's my phone? But yeah, I've done like a top 10 big board.
Mm-hmm.
But if they like, I haven't scouted everyone. Like, obviously March Madness is going on, so things are changing right now.
Right.
People getting knocked out. Jabari Smith dunking on people savagely, so I'm sure it's improving his stock. I don't know if you saw that Jabari Smith dunk, but holy shit, good God.
I haven't seen it yet.
He bodied somebody in the first round and just might as well just zip that man up, put him in a body bag because
Damn. So who you looking at? Who you looking at as far as rookies? I mean, not rookies, but college prospects right now.
like I said, it appears to be different tiers like there usually are. So I mean, if you're looking at number one, I feel like there's no consensus number one pick yet.
No,
maybe there will be by the end of March Madness, but right now it seems to be front offices seem to be divided between Chet Holmgren, Jabari Smith, and a little bit of Paolo Banchero, Jaden Ivey talk from some people. So like a little bit of those two, but more so Chet and Jabari. It's kind of
y'all might go one and get that might be y'all actually.
If the basketball gods bless us, yes, we need a big. So like I need the Thunder to land within the top 3. If we can get a top 3 pick, we're good. We're 20 and 50 right now. I think we have like the 5th or 4th best lottery odds.
Hey, that's still, just 10 less than the Lakers. So,
Well, look, this draft is really interesting because like this draft is loaded at certain positions, but there's no point. There's like almost no point guards in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need a point guard, you're fucked. Or unless you're really like, there's not a lot to choose from. There are some bigs in the draft, but again, this is not a league driven on bigs. I like the bigs that are in this draft, but OKC, I feel like they need big. And if they're going to use a top 5 pick, I would love Chet just for an OKC fan, but Jabari will work on any team. 6'11" sniper with that level of athleticism and potential. And like say, worst case scenario, you get Rashard Lewis. Like that's pretty safe.
Yeah. Rashard Lewis is pretty fucking good too.
Yeah, like at worst, and then he's got potential to be much better than that. But it is potential. But
yeah.
At the same time, I love Chet because I just think he's special. 7-footer who can do the things that he does. People are worried about the weight, but he's been durable. He hasn't been hurt. Chet, I think you just have to think outside the box, and he's not a traditional 5. You can use him in so many ways. I'm thinking like Evan Mobley-ish. Like you got to think that with Chet, and he has such a unique skill set to be able to catch a rebound and dribble it up, go behind the back, and just take it all the way and dunk it with 2 hands.
At a 5, that's crazy.
Yeah, like that's very or stop and pop and pull up in the 3 in transition.
No, this nigga played a 5 and he run up and down the court doing in betweens and behind the back.
Behind the back and take it coast to coast, 2-handed jam at the end. It's just like I can't pass that up. Like I'm sorry, bro. Like
they go
that's
crazy
unique.
In that Joe. He doing all that. I'm like, yo, I don't know what's going on, but it's crazy. KG is back.
I'm a Chet guy, and Chet he has a dog in him. Like someone said, he's not Sean Bradley, even though he's skinny and white, and you think you can like he averages 4 blocks a game. I think he's probably the second best rim protector in the country as a freshman. So like he is not someone you target to go, oh, look at that skinny white. Like he's gonna swat your shit, and he's he's gonna fight. He's gonna dunk on you. He's gonna there's a dog in him that I like. That is not just all talent and skill. Like he's got the umph that I need for that. He definitely needs to put on like 50 pounds, but like that'll happen with age and over time, you would hope.
Yeah.
Like
We've
so
seen stick figures before. He'll figure it out.
yeah, so I would go Chet right now. He's number one on my board right now. But I do like Jabari. The more I see of Jabari, I'm just like, I can see this hype now. At first I was like, where did this guy come from out of nowhere? But the more you like
Do you have
6'11",
a superlative for Jabari?
superlative, like
Like a player you compare him to?
I don't know. I see more like of this raw potential, but like I don't want to say this like because it's gonna be like a bad comparison because but just in terms of height and release point, KD. I'm not saying he's going to be KD or he's going to have the
Yeah, I
handle
know.
or
I
scoring, but
got you. I
yeah, I think
got you.
he's 6'11" and he shoots like 44% from deep, and he can get his shot off on anyone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like who's going to block that shot? It's like maybe 5 players in the NBA that can get out. And then he's got great athleticism in that 6'11" frame too. So it's like endless potential. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
he might go one then if he's doing all that.
that's what I'm saying. He might. Like I say, it depends on the team. A lot of GMs do have him going. Like I said, I think it's 50-50. I think honestly, from what I've heard, the edge is going to Jabari right now. They're going number one. So
why the physicals is better or some shit like that.
The physicals and just what he's doing. Chet is people are worried about Chet's 190 pounds, is 7 feet tall. I think that is the concern about Chet. And projecting a role for him early, you know what I'm saying? Because he's so skinny. But I just look at Evan Mobley. It's like he's a stick figure. Like Evan Mobley is a stick figure, and he's one of the best rookies we've seen in like a long ass time. Like so, like
well, the
play
thing
him at
that
the 4, just don't play him at the 5.
Yeah, like, Evan Mobley is straight up and down a 4. He'd probably be small ball 5.
You can do small ball 5, but it's like when Joel Embiid checks in the game or something, you slide him to the 4, and you have a real 5. That's a grown man that can bang.
Like having a player that you cannot define a position for, that's a little bit like what they did to Magic Johnson before he got drafted back in the 80s.
It worked out for him, and this is a new era of positionless basketball. There's more positionless basketball going on now than ever before. So I think Chet is perfect for the new NBA. He just needs to build weight. That's the only concern that I see. Like build weight and just continue to develop. He's such a unique player. Like it's tough though, because like I said, again, it depends on the build of your team. If I'm OKC, I'm taking Chet, but if I'm Orlando and I have Wendell Carter and Mo Bamba already, I might take Jabari.
OKC, y'all would take any goddamn body.
Yeah, you could take Jabari too. Like I can see us taking Jabari as well.
Yeah, it depends on what Presti looking at. Because Presti, I give Presti all credit for being a talent scout. I give Presti all credit for drafting. He drafted 3 MVPs. He drafted 3 Hall of Famers, probably 4. Yeah,
shit, he's still hitting. Like the last draft, he hit. We had 4 first-round picks. He hit on all 4 last year. Like the year before, I don't know about Poku. I love Poku, but like he cannot be considered a hit. He is.
Hey, I noticed that
maybe
GM,
at best.
Sometimes they pick like a European that could be something.
And Poku's still super young and raw. He's like 20. So like I'm not saying Poku's some shit, but I'm just saying like he can't be considered a hit.
I'm still looking for Bruno Caboclo. I was promised something with Bruno Caboclo. They was like he's the whatever KD or something. I'm like, okay. I guess he's the egg that didn't hatch.
No, they all don't hatch. That's the thing with this drafting. A lot of talented players don't make it, which is why this thing is interesting because all these players have so much talent. But you look at the draft and like half of these niggas are going to be gone in like 4 or 5 years. They're going to be out the league or in the G League or in China
or just gone. Yeah. But
in terms of just real quick, Sam Presti last drafts, Josh Giddey, incredible hit, might be rookie of the year, probably not long shot. He's hurt now, so won't be rookie of the year, but like
he's been player of the month like twice.
He's going to be first team all rookie.
Player of the month like twice so far.
Yeah, he's going to be first team all rookie. Josh Giddey hit. Trey Mann, slow start to the year. He had 25 tonight. He's had several 30-point games. Like Trey Mann is hooping now. He looks like a 6-man microwave. Love it.
Okay.
Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Before he got hurt, he looked like a starting center in the NBA. Like, can shoot threes, can do a lot. So it's like,
Mhm.
that's 3 hits, and that's a late first round pick. That's like way in the 20s or 30s or whatever. So it's like, or at 30, like it's yeah, like
Dog, could you imagine like if y'all like had that this year and y'all end up with Paolo, Jaden, like Jabari, like y'all just draft all of them and they
got 3
just be
first
on the
round
same
picks.
team. Like that'd be crazy, dog.
We have
Just build a
let's
team
say
just like that.
we have one projected top 5 pick, obviously
Mhm.
our pick from this year because we're some shit. And then
Mhm.
we have a late lottery projected pick, should be around like 12 to 14 range. And then we have like a pick like way late, like the late first round, late 20s.
So y'all
So
grouped in there with who? Like I'm trying to think.
at the top,
Yeah, well the bottom.
yeah, the bottom, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. The top of the draft, bottom of the league.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we're up there with Detroit, Houston, Orlando. I believe that is the bottom barrel.
Yeah, Detroit, Houston, Orlando. That sounds like the rest of the league. Okay.
Yeah, I think those are the other bottom feeders with us down there.
I'm
Yeah, I
I'm
think
definitely rooting for y'all.
Houston too. I forgot.
H Town. You said
Yeah.
we said Houston. Say Houston. I'm definitely rooting for y'all because I want y'all to turn it around. But like you said, that could go any goddamn way at one.
Basketball gods. We just need that. But it's like it's a draft of all bigs and wings. It's very little guards. Jaden Ivey would be the top guard on the board, but like I don't he's not John Morant. I hate those comparisons. They're just super athletes.
You
He
didn't
is a
mention
bigger
Hardy.
what you say?
You didn't mention Hardy.
Jaden Hardy will be probably in the lottery somewhere or late, or somewhere in the first round. But Jaden Ivey is the one that is projected to go top 5. Some people have him in the top 3. He's a freak athlete and he's dominant. And then he plays in a bad system that can't really showcase. He plays with a lot of big men at Purdue that kind of get in the way of his spacing and his crazy athleticism. So he seems frustrated with that. So he's hard to project. And he is a freak athlete, but
he's good on defense too. I like his defense. I
But
definitely like his
the John Morant comparisons are cracked out.
Don't. Oh my God. Ooh, they would call him Ja. They would compare
People are
him to
thinking,
Ja.
bigger John Morant. John Morant was an incredible playmaker and is an incredibly efficient point guard. Jaden Ivey is not shown. But again, like
I gotta
maybe he will with NBA spacing and he can flex his athleticism. But like I like him, like I said too, like because defensive potential, anyone that freakishly athletic, if you can just coach them and skill them up, like you can't teach that. So a nigga who could just blow through defenses like that with off of pure just like just talent. Yeah, like so can't teach that. So I see it. And if a certain spot in the draft, I'm a team, even if I already have a guard, like you might have to grab him just off of potential. But again, I've seen a lot of athletic players in the G League,
Yeah.
So if he can't
jump
get a
out
jumper
the gym and everything,
and if he can't become an efficient pick and roll, like playmaker, like I worry about his point guard skills. I worry he's going to be a tweener who's just a freak athlete that, maybe doesn't develop the rest of the skills that he needs to be a star. So a little worry. I think he has more bust potential than I think people think, but he definitely does have some hella boom potential too. So that, like a lot of drafts, it's a big swing potential on Ivy, in my estimation, from what I've seen.
Well, like I said, I wish y'all the best. I really want y'all to turn it around because in OKC, it's winning time. Now, winning time on what is it, HBO? It's a good show. Yeah, it's a very good show. 2 episodes deep so far. I've learned so much, even if the parties involved have like not wanted to be a part of it for some reason. I don't know why, but just learning about Jerry West and how many times he lost in the finals and when he finally won, and how Jerry Buss went about purchasing a team. I mean, if any of this is like factual or not, it's still a great show.
Yeah, my dad seems to be loving it. He's like, "This is the era from when I grew up, man." He's like loving it. Like he's been telling me, gassing it up, telling me to watch it. So I plan to watch it this weekend and catch up.
Yeah.
So
it's very good. Quincy Isaiah, he's doing a good job at playing Magic. I do think I remember when they was casting, they did cast him because he has the magic look, with the smile and everything. He does kind of give that off in the show. I mean, yeah, man, it's the '80s. There's a lot of fucking, a lot of fourth wall breaking. It's shot beautifully. Like if you started watching Succession, like which is one of my like top 1-3 TV shows of all time. It's with Adam McKay, it's always gonna be shot dope. Like Euphoria is gonna always be shot dope. The story might be ass, but it's gonna be shot beautifully though.
Yeah.
But this story is dope so far. I have faith in Adam McKay. John C. Reilly is always funny. Michael Chiklis playing Red Auerbach, my bad. Yeah, Michael Chiklis. We have
Mr.
Adrian.
Bell knows he knew Red Auerbach.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh shit. He also got Adrian Brody as Big Pat Riley. Yeah, they got some star-studded stars in the
I can see him being Pat Riley. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Just slip back. Yeah, just swap,
yeah. It's like I can see that.
I mean,
I'm excited to watch this. Yeah, I haven't had time this week. I had a busy week, so like, yeah, I'm excited to catch up this week on all the shows. Definitely, that's just number one at the top of my list.
Yes, very much worth the watch. Yeah. What else we got? I think that we've covered a lot of topics.
Yeah.
What else we got? Yeah, we did it.
I was like, is that it? Did we do all the stuff?
Did we do all the stuff? I think we did. Episode 0.
Yeah.
Of the Puffco Deity Show, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 0. Make sure you subscribe everywhere that people listen to stuff with their ears and their hearts. As you can see, we have merch available everywhere. You can hit somebody up on the 5 Squad Mafia to get some.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I got a shirt now. Where's my shit?
Uh-oh. Here's the uh-oh.
Jersey swap out here.
Oh! Hey, that just reminded me of Kanye getting the Rockefeller chain. Right. He has his Rockefeller chain right there, everybody. That's the Rockefeller chain.
Newest member of the Rockefeller.
That's the Rockefeller chain right there. FSOD, everybody, burn up. Thank you for joining us on a new episode of the Puffco and Didi Show. Gang.